Venti rerun in 2.6. What? Yes, so with some recent leaks, it seems that along with Ayaka and stuff, we may also be getting a Venti rerun, which is quite exciting news. And so let us discuss this and whether or not you should summon for Venti. So recently I made a video about the reruns that were expected to come in 2.6, and in this video I talked about 3 characters, Ayaka, Yoimiya and Kazuha, who all were expected to come out for their reruns, but now a 4th contender has entered the fray, and that is Venti. So there's a few reasons people think he may be the one returning rather than the previous 3, and so let's go over these reasons. So firstly, while Kazuha is the oldest character to not have had a rerun of the people who have had reruns, Venti is one of the oldest characters to have had a rerun, with his rerun dating all the way back in 1.4, which is quite some time ago. And so, seeing as we already have had a second rerun character with Child, it's quite likely Venti will get one as well. Now the second big reason why Venti might be coming is due to the leaks of the Spiral Abyss of 2.6 having an Anemo damage modifier to it. And so usually with the Spiral Abyss modifiers, they always directly relate to the characters that are on the banners, and so having an Anemo modifier makes Venti much more likely to come out. Now I know it could also mean Kazuha is coming out, as he is an Anemo unit, so that is something to think about. But now this is really good news, as alongside Kazuha and Sucrose, Venti is one of the best Anemo supports in the game due to his almost unmatched crowd control. And so let's move on now to why you should summon for Venti. So before Kazuha's dominance in the Spiral Abyss, there was Venti, who during his prime was considered a must pick in not only the Spiral Abyss but just domains in general due to his strong burst that groups enemies together, allowing your DPS to DPS it down. So that is Venti's greatest strength, his grouping, as often in Spiral Abyss one of the key things is to take down the enemies as fast as possible due to not only you having a time limit but the fact that if the enemies are grouped together then you can just AoE them down rather than picking them off one at a time. Secondly, due to him being an Anemo unit, he has access to the Viridescent Venera set, which is one of the strongest sets in the game, allowing your main DPS to deal even more damage as long as you proc the swirl reaction on it. Now whenever Venti gets brought up, the comparison to Kazuha also gets brought up due to them filling somewhat similar roles but also notable differences. So now in terms of just grouping the enemies together, Venti definitely has the edge, especially against smaller enemies. He can group the entire floor of mobs, whereas Kazuha has a much smaller range. However, against larger enemies, Venti's burst doesn't work as well, and so Kazuha definitely has the advantage there, which is why on the upper floors, i.e. floor 12 of the Abyss, where you usually face big enemies that Venti can't group, Kazuha has the edge. The second big difference between the two is the damage amplification. So this is where Kazuha really shines and is the big difference between the two. So Kazuha has the ability to improve his team's damage, which is the main reason why he is considered to be one of the greatest supports right now, whereas Venti doesn't really have that damage amplification that Kazuha has and is instead focused on crowd control and acting as a battery. And so Venti, what a character, one that might possibly be coming in 2.6 rather than Kazuha. Now personally I am quite excited as I do already own Venti and he's a great character. While he is a bit more niche than Kazuha, he still is a very strong support with great battery capabilities paired with some of the best crowd control in the game, and so if he does come around in 2.6, highly recommend you get him, you won't be disappointed. But now I wish you all the best in your summons if he does come around, and of course I hope you enjoyed this video about a possible Venti rerun, and I'll see you next time.